Thank you for the introduction. It's our pleasure to be here. I would like to then go back to a bit of the roots when you need the products to the market. What are the challenges that the manufacturing sector is facing here in China under the new normal, as well as the great emphasis on smart manufacturing. And that topic goes back to the digitalization, which is happening all over the place, not only in the manufacturing, but also on the consumer side. So we will start to talk about a bit different topics than the consumer side. We will look at the whole supply chain, a little bit of the manufacturing, and starting, please put the next slide on, Teresa. Oh, yes. Is this one? I will start with a short introduction of, okay, it's there, ABB, because I think maybe not all in the room know what ABB stands for. ABB is a global automation and power technology company working in more than 100 countries and having revenues roughly 35 billion. So fairly sizable engineering company headquartered in Switzerland, in Zurich. And we are putting a lot of effort on innovation. That is our way to stay competitive. And what we are doing, actually, we are also heavily addressing the innovation in China. We are a really local company, although we are regarded as a multinational. We are over 18,000 employees all over China in more than 147 locations today. And we basically produce 90% of our offering here in China for the Chinese market. So very little of exports to that degree. And that is why we are also fairly competitive in multiple industries. Food and beverage is one of the focus industries for ABB, but we also play in the power utility sector as well as in the rapidly growing transportation and infrastructure sector. So we are basically serving multiple industries, and we are not specifically a food and beverage equipment manufacturer. We provide different equipment solutions and services to food and beverage sector, but not complete process lines. Next one. And when we talk about the manufacturing sector, what are the challenges there? Clearly, we can see that the Industry 4.0 or Internet of Things is much about how we connect devices with services and people. Internet of Things is not only machine-to-machine communication, it's a lot about how we utilize the amount of new data in our data analytics as well as making better decisions. We also believe that the whole Internet of Things will change many industries completely. How we work today will not be the way we work in the future. That provides both opportunities and challenges. And you see that the revolution is going on. This is just an illustration of two incidents within 8 years. You see the 2005 when Pope Johannes Paul was, he died, how many people in the Vatican were using handheld devices compared to 2013 when his successor retired and a new Pope was elected. So you see that in 8 years, almost 100% penetration of connected devices. Next one. So, and this means that already today, there's more than 6 billion devices connected in industries, in other parts of all economies. And this is growing rapidly. By 2020, 20 billion equipment will be connected. Roughly 5 million devices per day added to the internet. So that is a very rapid development of course, traffic as well. And traffic is coming from devices which are no longer the typical laptops or personal computers. They are all kind of other type of sensors and devices on the field or in the transportation chain, etc. So what type of opportunities then Industry 4.0 or Internet of Things will provide? Definitely it will open up opportunities in new business models, new type of offerings, as well as in a way how things are being produced or manufactured. And that of course requires focus on different enablers like infrastructure, level of automation, capabilities in the organization, as well as then integrating the whole value chain. And by doing that, there's a huge potential in improvements in all parts of the value chain, be it in the asset utilization or the energy efficiency of the plant. And if you look at the food and beverage industry, this is statistics coming from PricewaterhouseCoopers showing that there's a lot of potential for food and beverage to improve compared to some other industries. And it is projected to be a very rapid development. And how to do that is then the challenge in China. And at this point, I would like to hand over to Teresa, who's been working very closely with Chinese food and beverage companies as well as multinationals, working on the smart manufacturing, driving productivity and energy efficiency. Please walk us through, Teresa, what are the changes happening in China?
Hi, good morning. My apologize to non-Chinese speakers. I'm going to switch language to Chinese, okay, from now on, okay?
Over the past 1 year and a half, I accompanied our engineers and visited many food and beverages clients in China. I visited their production floors. I didn't address them in their offices. I prefer to talk to the supervisors and operators along the production line. We Chinese have an old saying, food is everything. It's almost as important as heaven. It is also said that from having enough food on the table to eating a better diet to eating in a healthy way, that explains the shift of people's expectations towards what they eat. Our old understanding of the supply chain of food and beverages, here I was talking about 20 to 30 years ago, we could easily thought about the patches of a grain in the rural area, but now we thought about metal, electrified equipment. So now, when I approached these clients, I saw metals and ions, and I saw electrification, and saw a complicated combination of metal materials and electrification solutions. So today, when I visited these clients, I saw different solutions and combinations of electrification components and different manufacturing design philosophy. That does not prove a challenge to us, because from the age of industrial 1.0 to 2 and 3 and now 4.0, you can define your own production format. But as cost control becomes a priority to everybody, we need to focus on the combination of informatization with automation. And now, when I accompany our engineers to our clients, I saw different design logic and the combination of different equipment suppliers' products.
I think we are the first presenter this morning who is not only involved in the food and beverage sector. We have been active in the steel sector, paper making sector, as well as many other manufacturing sectors. And we have seen similar development of companies using advanced machinery to improve their productivity and output. And if you look at the food and beverage sector, we do see similar developments. For example, we're seeing a rise in middle class in China. In the next 20 years, the number of middle class people is going to continue and the demand is going to increase. And we're also seeing increasing product variation. Let's use soft drink as an example. Many decades ago, when we think about soft drink, we would only think of a typical Pepsi Cola and a Coca-Cola can. But in 2016, when you think of soft drinks, you're going to come up with so many different cans and packages. So given the bigger and bigger variety of products, we can see ever-changing demands of consumers. And Stephen mentioned that China managed to finish in 20 years what it used to take the West 200 years in terms of industrialization. In the past 20 years, we're seeing rapid development in the food and beverage sector, and let's look at future needs or trends. We're seeing changes in the environment and increasing prices of power. In fact, before, many producers were not very interested in the power usage or cost because they were developing very quickly and they made handsome profits. But currently, as their growth is no longer that quick, they are interested in making sure that the cost is controlled. Energy cost and power cost has become an important factor in reducing the overall manufacturing cost. Now, when we talk about more complicated processes of manufacturing, do we have to create prototypes every time to see how things work? Perhaps we could use virtualization so that we'll be able to adjust our plans and designs in a more timely and cost-effective manner. What's more, when we look at the demand of automation in companies, we could actually look at perhaps collaboration among companies and industries to improve automation. Now, this is an example of a factory for overtime in another country, and you could see that we would connect information in the manufacturing workshops to the ERP system so that there's going to be paperless operation. This would mean that there is going to be perfect control of raw materials and the processes across the factory. Now, when you go to a factory, you're going to see different machines, and the machines are not connected with each other. The information in these machines is not uploaded to a central system. So this will mean that we're still at the stage of Industry 3.0. Only when we are able to connect these machines and share the information in a central system, we'll be able to embrace Industry 4.0. So how could we actually share information in the factory or among the factories of a whole company is very important. Such a picture is already quite common in our petrol clients or petrochemical clients, so they are being adopted in many sectors. If you are a factory manager and if you're able to sit in a control room and monitor what's going on in your factories across the nation, including the productivity and other key indicators. Now, this is a future that is within our grasp. 2 more pages. Now, I have not mentioned our ABB Food and Beverage Solutions because Industry 4.0 is something that everyone aspires to. But what is Industry 4.0? Nobody has a clear idea or definition. And I would like to share with you the fact that ABB is an automation expert, and we produce everything that is used in a factory workshop and production lines. Now, our goal is to help you to realize automation so that you could reach your production goals and strategies. There are many ways for you to reach your goals. And I would like to spend a few more minutes on this slide. Often cases we have great visions, but there are very few success cases. First, we have the challenge of investment. When they talk to us, they would like to say, do you have a proposal to us? But they're not sure about what their specific needs. Once they have the specific needs, I would like to present them with a proposal, and I would tell them, for example, the investment can be around 200 million. And the follow-up question would be, what would be the return of such an investment? Now, when we are clear about the return of the investment, then in fact, our services and products can improve the satisfaction of customers and loyalty of customers, but they can be quite difficult to be quantified. So, throughout our negotiation processes with our potential clients, we understand that the government is supporting the development of automation. Companies want to embrace automation, but there are not many companies that would actually embrace them due to many concerns. And that is why we would like to provide custom-made solutions to different customers' factories based on their distinctive needs. But I would like to say that if companies are willing to take their factory to the next stage, they are going to be able to succeed in the future competition. And I would like to encourage you to think about this and reach out to us if you are interested. You'll see quite a large number of Industry 4.0, and in the past 1.5 to 2 years, I would like to say that there's not one-size-fits-all solution. We need to talk specifically about the needs and requirements of each company so that we could help them reach their vision.
The main topics to address in food and beverage manufacturing are also very applicable to many other industries today. I mean, it's clear that there will be a lot more integration of different devices, and this will just increase as we move forward. This will enable us to integrate the equipment, people, and the different business and control systems we have in the plants for a transparency of the whole value chain, as well as a full traceability of what is going on. I would say even beyond the plant could be an enterprise. If you have multiple plants in multiple continents of the world, it doesn't really matter where they are when you are using the connected devices. Then it's clear that there are a lot of new things also in the area of virtual design and testing. You can actually build virtually your process line and test it before you go and build it in real life, in order to make sure that everything you do will meet your requirements. That is an increasing area of using also the connected devices. There's also a lot of new things that can be built around advanced services, as well as providing then a better working environment for the workers. I mean, they become more empowered because they have all the information at their fingertips. And there, as already shown by Teresa, there's a lot we can do to improve the availability and reliability of the manufacturing processes. That is one area, because you have the information available anywhere you want. You may have a measurement device in China which has been diagnosed in another part of the world, like we do for instance, for robotics. We have an engineering center in India, where they have the full visibility of all the robots we have provided on a global basis. Then there will be a lot more intelligent field devices, not only the motors and drives, but there will be a lot other similar devices that can provide a lot more meaningful information for making these decisions. And then last but not least, we are also seeing an opportunity to push the boundaries of automation in general. What has been done in the past is not anymore enough, so we can build a lot more human-machine collaboration. The new innovative robots that have been brought to the market can work next to a human being, which was not the case in the past, because you needed fences in between. But today we can apply simply robots where we used to have workers. That is one area. Then there is a lot of new development in the area of using vision for product placement and picking. I mean, very intelligent devices that can use vision as an additional function. And then last but not least, also the virtual engineering and commissioning will optimize the product and the new process commissioning with a lot less risk. So there are plenty of things that these connected devices and Internet of Things will provide to manufacturers, but it will also require a lot more new skills in the organization, and the ABB is willing to help the manufacturers in food and beverage and other industries in China. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pauli and Teresa. So Industry 4.0 is a buzzword in China and in the world right now. But I think today the two speakers here bring more clarity to what it really means to us and what the benefits can bring. Do we have any questions? Okay.
Thanks, Marcus, your good presentation. My question is that how you ABB think about the virtual reality facility support in ABB? Just you mentioned many times your presentation about the virtual.
Virtual reality. Oh, I mean, let me be very direct. Why do you need that in a F&B factory? From a production point of view. E-commerce. Well, that's the tricky part. Is actually for us, we actually very focused. We are actually in the production area, and to be realistic, we see visualization, but it's not really virtual reality. It's not augmented reality. Okay, so in the shop floor, I don't see that actually happening or kind of like affecting. So maybe in the e-shopping, that's another domain which is not really our expertise. Sorry.
Okay. Any further questions?
Well, I think the virtual reality plays a role when we do the planning and design of new process lines or new product innovation in the factory. There we can of course use tools like that, but I mean that is our area of expertise. We do have some systems that we are using. For instance, designing a full end-of-line packing or picking or placing applications in parts of the food and beverage manufacturing process.
Okay, thank you very much for the great presentations.